Hello YouTube. This week I've got the keys to a 2017 Ford Escape and a 2017 Honda CR-V. Let's compare them. So it's blue versus red, Honda versus Ford. Cheating a little bit. It's not really red, it's kind of orangey, but whatever. There you have it. Both vehicles are about 40 grand. Both fully loaded. The Honda is the Touring Edition and the Ford is the Titanium Edition with a bunch of options on it. The Honda is easier to price out because it's just a package. Whereas the Ford, you pick the Titanium and then you add even more stuff on top of that. So they're both within a couple $100s of each other. I'm going to post, I've posted videos of each of these individually, and then I have them together. So I figured, well, since I have them together, let's do a little bit of comparison, what I think about each of them. And I'll put links to the individual ones, which will give you more details on each car. Specifically over this one, I'm just going to kind of compare what I liked and what I didn't like about each of these vehicles. So the one thing you'll notice is in the on the Ford, it is a little bit smaller. Pop this open. It's about 100 liters less space in the Ford compared to the Honda. So you are getting a bigger vehicle on the Honda. And the back seat space is quite a bit smaller as well. So there's the back seat space on the Ford. And we'll move along to the Honda and just show you that in the trunk as well. So you can see the legroom there. There's quite a bit more legroom. And if we flip up the rear hatch, quite a bit more distance on the back here. In terms of driving, the Honda is less powerful, more road noise than the Ford. They have similar all-wheel drive system, similar capabilities. You can see them side by side here, that the Honda is slightly larger and it feels bigger when you're driving it. The hood is wider than the Ford's. On the Ford, it kind of narrows down in the front here and it kind of swoops down, whereas on the Honda it kind of stays wide, gives it that aggressive stance, but it does make it feel bigger when you're driving it. And like I said, the Ford is more powerful. There's almost 100 horsepower more on the Ford than on the Honda, so you can definitely feel that. And to me, it's the better driving vehicle, which may surprise some people that the Ford's the better driving vehicle, but it does drive better in my opinion, and it's quieter and smoother on the highway and on bumpy roads. The suspension is better, quieter, and it's because of that more fun to drive. Now the big thing for me though was the seats. So I'll show these front seats on the Ford. You see they're kind of narrow and they're kind of flat and they're not very long either. So because of that, I find you kind of fall out, and even these bolsters, they're not very deep. Because of that, you kind of fall out of the Ford in aggressive driving. Or as I move over to the Honda, and you'll see kind of a more aggressive bolster on the front here, which holds your hips in better, and even these are more aggressive and deeper. So that's a little bit better for driving dynamics, to hold the driver in. Now on the inside, the Honda here, just get it lit up a little bit. I think the Honda is nicer interior overall. It's better laid out, looks more modern, looks better, looks like it has better materials, smarter decisions, like this cup holder with the removable piece here for more storage. USB connections in the back. This flat panel, it looks kind of nice actually. Some people don't like the iPad on the dash kind of thing. It's not really on the dash, it's kind of into the dash, and it looks kind of nice. And the ergonomics are really good. This is nicely placed. It's really easy to get your seat comfortable. So it's well done. Now, I guess that's up to you. Do you like a car that drives better or is quieter, or do you like a car that has that better interior? You are sitting in the interior quite a bit. If you can live with the, I'd say, slowness of the Honda, it might be the better choice out of the two. If you like the power of the 2-liter turbo in the Ford, then that might be your better choice. Now, not to say that the Ford is bad or anything. Let's go hop in the Ford. Just hop in the passenger side for ease of videoing here. Now the Ford here, I think the infotainment system is much better than the Honda's. It's brighter, easier to use, faster, it's more responsive. The climate control settings are better on the Honda, but this does have a few more features. So you're, like I said, the same price pretty much for both vehicles loaded. This one has the auto park feature, which if you look at my individual video of the vehicle, I showed how that auto park works and tested it out. And it does give you parallel parking, as well as exiting parallel park and perpendicular parking on either side. The Ford, try to lean over here. The Ford is kind of basic. The Ford starts at $24,000, and the interior kind of lends to that $24,000 starting price, whereas the Honda starts more in the $30,000 range, so it's a little bit more upscale on the base model compared to the Ford on the base model. And as a result, that you see that when you go up in models, they add leather, but they don't really change the dash, and they don't change this kind of layout, so this doesn't really change. And then you end up with something that looks kind of low rent compared for the price you're paying, over $40,000. You don't have quite as much storage here. You've got a double bin. It's pretty deep. There is a USB in there, and there's a USB here as well. And everything's kind of smaller, right? This vehicle is smaller than the Honda. There's no denying that. But it feels quite a bit smaller as well. And some people like a smaller vehicle, so maybe you're looking for something smaller. That's up to you. So they both have the panoramic sunroof as well. So that's that's equivalent. The one thing the Ford has that the Honda doesn't have is the kick to open the trunk. And the parking. I think pretty much everything else is equivalent. It's got lane departure warning, lane departure assist, radar cruise control, and blind spot detection, and pretty much all those kind of technological features. The Ford definitely has a nicer screen for when you're backing up, and as well as parking sensors in the front. The Ford also has automatic windows, front and rear, auto down, auto up, whereas the Honda only has auto down up for the front windows, and then the rear windows are, you got to hold the button for that. So there you have it. That's kind of my opinion. If I was going out for a compact crossover SUV right now, and looking to buy one, and I had narrowed it down to the CR-V and the Honda CR-V and the Ford Escape, I would have a very hard decision, to be honest with you. I like the interior of the Honda quite a bit, but I like the driving dynamics of the Ford a little bit more, and I'm kind of a power junkie, and the Honda just does not do it for me in that regard, where this Ford does. Now the Ford seats, kind of for the first few days I drove it, were hurting my butt, my back, not really the best, but I've kind of gotten used to them. So I've kind of got over that, and then I do like the Ford infotainment system. So I'm trying to convince myself, I think, if I was going to be shopping these two vehicles today, I think I might pick the Ford, which is not something I would have said to myself at the start of the week. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.